Good afternoon. It was a warm, bright and sunny day. It is Wednesday the 16th of August. I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And a small package to open. Okay. And what I've got in here is this, which is the Wretched. You're the last surviving crew member of an intergalactic salvage ship, the Wretched. Adrift between the stars after an engine failure, your ship was attacked by a hostile alien life form. The crew are dead. You thought you had won. You launched the creature out of an airlock, and that should have meant safety. It didn't. The Wretched is a solo journaling RPG, played with a deck of cards, a tumbling tower block, and a microphone. Okay, so that's quite an interesting set of items you need to play. Okay, so this is, I think it's published by Loop the Room, and essentially, it's a solo journaling game. And you will tell a story, record your efforts to survive in a journal for others perhaps to find, using the spurs contained within this role-playing game and the events that occur as a result of drawing cards, pulling blocks from your younger set, and so on. So, nice little piece there. And so Wretched alone, definitely Wretched. And we start off at some of the role-playing prompts in the Wretched tend towards the dark and violent. So, and this game is about fear, abandonment, and survival. It's a game about being hunted. It does carry some content warnings, as you can see, and it identifies who you are, the situation you're in, more or less as I outlined on the back cover blurb, and what you've got to do to survive. So, the other thing is, it says the Wretched is inspired by the music and films of John Carpenter, music of Nine Inch Nails, and so on, as well as the games You're Not Alone in This Life and You'll Die Alone Out Here in the Black. So it has a fairly dark tone to it. So, essentially, so here it is. It describes what you're doing, okay, and what you're doing, or what the game is, and then how you do it, how you play. So standard deck of cards, no joker, single six-sided die, tumbling tower block and 10 tokens of some kind, and so on. The other thing, it says you need some way to record your game. Audio or visual logs work best. Speaking to a microphone or a camera at the end of each day. So there are only two positive ways out of the situation. Each is more unlikely than the last. First, you could activate your distress beacon, survive long enough for someone to hear it, and then continue to survive long enough for them to come get you. Second, you could fix your engines and leave the creature drifting in your wake. You can fail in a multitude of ways. So, and then begin. This is taking you through the process of how do you set this game up, shuffling the cards, setting up the tower block, and so on, and then the process itself. You have the day. It's divided into phases, means to represent days on board ship. So you have the option. It says here you can take this literally, playing a slow game over the course of days or weeks, or you can play the whole game in one setting. This usually takes about half an hour. So this is a very quick playing solo journaling game that you could play over time. So essentially, in the first phase, you draw cards, and you turn over cards and consult the cards until your tasks are complete. And that's your complete day. Then take the moment to consider the events of the day, keeping in mind what you learned about the state of your ship, the actions of the creature, and how you're feeling. Record your audio log. operations manual, and this just essentially, basically explains the card suits and what they signify within the game. Systems, and this is this is essentially what you're playing. This is the meat of the game, as it were, what you're responding to. So you might have an entry that says the life support system keeps making an unhealthy grinding noise. You don't know what the problem is. What will you do if it fails? Or you've been finding it harder and harder to catch your breath. Eventually it dawned on you the oxygen system has shut itself off. You fixed it, but what caused it to break? And then you answer those prompts, and in the case of the latter one, it says pour from the tower. And it does the same each of these for hearts and diamonds. So these are the structures of the game. So systems. So for example, systems. That's your heart. That's the and then structures dealing with sort of like the structure of the ship. Spades is dealing with is dealing with crew, and spades directly with the creature itself. And then once that all is done, it says at the end, take a moment, breathe and debrief, and here's where you take the time to reflect upon the game game you've just played, the experience you've just had, and essentially, did you manage to do what you set out? Did you fail? It discusses it there, and ultimately it ends I think it comes to the point where it addresses that you are likely to fail, but it's the experience as such that's more interesting necessarily than the failure. It's the attempt, and it's as it says, ultimately you will be unlikely to be remembered. So that is almost there's a sense of nihilism, but also a sense of desperation, perhaps a little bit of hope in there too, but not a lot. So yeah, that's the Wretched, a solo journaling game. Actually plays fairly quickly or fairly lengthily, depending upon how many sessions you want to put in, and over whether you want to play it immediately or over the course of days. Published by basically Loot the Room. So if you have enjoyed this unboxing Nook, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings of the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel containing a book or game, or in this case a solo journaling game, which I will unbox and talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. Be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.